Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing. Here we go. Okay. Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you might be. So, welcome to my live broadcast on Facebook. I'm just experimenting right now, and I've been getting some sort of bad, I don't know, the video is not in sync, so I'm trying to work at that. So at the moment, what I'm doing, so I'm going to do this live with another system, plus this is being recorded on another camera. So I want to see how this one comes out. If it doesn't come out the correct way, what I'm going to do is upload what I'm streaming on the other camera right now and put it on YouTube and then put it up back on Facebook. So, anybody who would like to view can view. No problem. So, write in the comment section, say hello, or whatever it might be that you want to say. What I'm trying to do is, I guess you could say it's network, but I'm really going to be teaching. I'm going to explain how the stick control formula book came into existence. You know, it's an accumulation of over the years, studying with Joe Morello and my own journey into the stick control book. I've come up with some ideas. This book contains 45 different formulas. Now I'm offering a special to anybody who would like to join my site. That's MattPatellaLiveLessons.com. You become a paid for member. You will get stick control book formulas only in a PDF formation. Okay? Alright, so now I want to just do a few examples of some of the things that are in here. I will do maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 different things for the next hour. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section. Okay? So, let's start. And my primary source, number 1, is from the stick control book. And as you journey into the stick control book and get digging deep into the book, I'm not talking about the last page, but the first 3 pages. Yeah, the other pages as well, but mostly the first 3 pages with the formulas. You're going to see that all the methodology books that you buy somehow or other are related to those first 3 pages. And I'm not out on a mission to prove that, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the brilliance of George Lawrence Stone and the teachings of Joe Morello, and I'm expanding upon it. So that's makes me creative. It makes me. I'm trying to become a better drummer every day. Hopefully you are as well. And the first rule of being a musician or trying to become better is always, and I emphasize this, always be humble. Now George Lawrence Stone was brilliant, and George and Joe explained to me his lessons with George, and he showed me some of his lessons with George Lawrence Stone. In addition to that, his own approach, his own creativity, which led me to be creative with the stick control book. So here we go. We're going to take a very simple but yet fun exercise. And that's one of the things that you want to do. Now, practicing is hard work. It's serious. You want to be productive, and you want to concentrate. But you also want to have fun too. So you could say practicing could be fun. Now, I get a lot of comments and a lot of guys saying to me, yeah, I did the stick control book, I went through that 30 years ago. Well, okay, I can respect that. But what did you do with it? You just played what the pages told you to play. And that's not really what the book is about. I do have a video on YouTube explaining the way I was told, the way I was taught of how George Lawrence Stone intended the stick control book to be. Okay? And it has to do with a lot of different today's issues, playing open-handed, you know, right-handed and left-handed lead. Well, you take the first two lines of stick control. Stick control has a right-hand lead for the first one, 1 and 2 and 4. And the second line, you have a left-hand lead. And it does make a difference. Okay, so we're going to take the brilliance, again, of George Lawrence Stone and expand upon it. Now we're going to reference, with this lesson, from page 5 of the stick control book. What I'm going to do with that, if I look at the first line, which is written 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, just the first measure, I'm going to eliminate the lefts. And I'm just going to play the rights. The rights will be just on the floor tom-tom. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So I looked at the first line. I eliminated the lefts and just played the rights on the floor tom-tom. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Then I go to the second line, and it's the same approach. I'm eliminating the lefts. Now the rights are going to move over to the end, so I'm going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And simple. Line 3, same approach. Eliminating the lefts, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And that's easy. So let's challenge that concept and say, okay, some of the terms might get a little confusing with the next section of this lesson. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play eighth notes straight ahead with one hand, my left hand, on the snare drum. So I'm going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's going to be constant. Then I'm going to play my bass drum on the counts of 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then I'm going to play my hi-hat. I'm going to use a heel-toe method. So I have heel, toe, 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3, and the bass drum now, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And what I'm trying to do with those three different voices is blend them in as one note. When I hit the 1, all right, it's the bass drum and snare drum. It don't sound like my bass drum is overpowering the snare drum like this. I make it as musical as possible. I refer to that as a vamping pattern, but it is also, you can consider that an ostinato pattern. An ostinato pattern is a pattern which repeats itself over and over again. So I'm playing the eighth notes on the snare with the left hand, I'm playing the bass drum 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm playing the hi-hat on 2 and 4, heel and toe. And I'm playing it over and over and over again, so that becomes an ostinato. It's a pattern which repeats itself over and over again. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now, while I have that going on, and I'm not going to change any sounds, I want it to sound as musical as I possibly can. I'm going to reference now, like we did in the beginning, from the stick control book. Okay? So we're going to apply all the rights against that pattern. That's going to make my left hand and that ostinato pattern or vamping pattern stronger. So I'm going to play line 1 nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to take line 2. Okay, I'm doing it as slowly as possible. If there's any questions, please come forward. So now, I have the right hand now is shifting over to all the ands. So now I have 1, 2, the left hand and the right hand now. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 4. So now I have 1, 2, line 1, 2 times, line 2. Another way to interpret the brilliance of George Lawrence-Stone. All right, we go to line 3. 1, 2, 3. The right hand is going to be on one hand and 3 hands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Line 4 on 2 hands and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Line 5. The right hand falls on the 1. It falls on 2 and the and of 3 against that ostinato. Now, I'm locked in to 4 voices. I'm playing all the rights on the floor tom-tom, this left's on the snare, bass drum and hi-hat. But, you know, you don't want to restrict yourself. Be creative. Move it around. When I say move it around, now I don't usually play with 2 times on top. I play with only 1. But I put it up there because I had a lot of requests for different things to do, and I'm going to do that with the smaller tom. But when I say move it around, here we go. Idea? Okay? Understand. Any questions, just put them into the comment section. Now, what I like to do is I put a timer on it. Well, first off, what I do every day is at least the left-hand side of stick control book, page 5, in full strokes with a vamp. I will explain that in a little bit. That's essential. That has a lot of things for you. You have a lot of need for that. Only because you want to make that right hand and that left hand sound equal. And you want to do it slow. And you're practicing in full stroke. It's actually the laws of physics. When I throw the stick down, it comes back. There's the laws of physics. For every action, there's an opposite reaction. Action, opposite reaction. So I'll get into that in a little bit, okay? But that's not a really fun exercise to do. And you come up with all kinds of different things. You're going to start to hear things that you've been working on or trying to get, and you say, oh, that's what it is. Oh, it's going to help you. Everything you do from the George Lawrence-Stone stick control book is going to help you in one area or another, without a doubt. That's why the book is a classic. It's the most, it's been out, I think, the longest than any other publication. And everything in that book is going to help you. Now, here's the thing. That's the first exercise. What I like to do on the next one of the exercises, by the way, all of this is in the stick control book formula that I did. Now this book is for sale, both in this copy like this, bind it together, or in PDFs. So if you would be interested in purchasing this, you need to email me and we'll talk about it. It's a little bit expensive because It's 188 pages. But man, it contains a lot of great information if you ask me. Well, that's because I wrote it. Okay, now, everybody has a problem. So you use the levels, and they don't know what the levels are or control strokes. Well, let me give just a brief introduction to first off, sticking positions or sticking heights. The first height is about an 18-inch height off the drum. It's about this high. And when I hit the drum, I come right back. That's called a full stroke or a free stroke. Now listen to that sound. Now the next stroke I do is going to be a downstroke. Now there was a sound from the full stroke, the downstroke should sound the same. But now the downstroke I just keep down. I do not create any kind of tension whatsoever. Okay, let me do that again. I have the full stroke and the downstroke. Both sounded the same. Why? Because they came from the same starting point. Now the next stroke is a downstroke. A tap. What that does is you just tap the drum. And it comes right back to that same position. It's like the full stroke, but it comes right back. You see, it's lighter in sound only because the attack position is less than the full stroke. Now, so far that's the free stroke, the downstroke, and the tap. Now the tap's going to sound a little lighter, or somewhat lighter, or it should be much lighter, let's say much lighter, because of your starting point. So that was the full stroke or free stroke, the downstroke, and then the tap. Next stroke is the upstroke. All I do is simply hit the drum from this point and come up to my starting position, which is the full stroke. But notice, the full stroke and the free stroke and the downstroke sounded the same. Okay? The tap and the upstroke sounded the same. Now, it's just a natural way to play. No problem. All right? Everybody plays like this, they don't realize it. You break it down, say, I don't want to practice that. Well, when you practice stuff like this, it just reinforces the flow. What is natural becomes stronger. Okay, for example, if I'm playing a single paradiddle, stickies right, left, 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 and what I want to do is accent the first stroke of the paradiddle, the right-hand paradiddle, right, left, right. Then I'm going to go to the left, left, and I'm going to hit an accent on the first stroke of the paradiddle. So my starting position, I'm going to do it slow, and I'm going to do it regimented, whatever, slowly, so you could understand it. I'm breaking it up for you. I'm not here to show you how fast I can play a paradiddle. I'm showing you what occurs when you play a paradiddle correctly. This is correct hand technique utilizing the laws of physics. My starting position is going to be like this. So I say, why is it going to be like this? Well, the first stroke is going to be an accent, and it's a right hand accent, so I come down. But look at my sticks, they're equal. So what I'm going to do from this point is I have to do a left, but it has to come up. Why does it have to come up? Because my next left is going to be an accent, so I have an up. Then I have two rights and a hit, and you can't get me. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Okay. Ouch. Anyway, let me get back, I needed to help somebody out. All right, so now, we're going to play the first stroke of the paradiddle with an accent. So inside of a single paradiddle, right-hand paradiddle or left-hand paradiddle, that's an alternating paradiddle, we have two sounds. We have an accented note and three unaccented notes. But we have three movements. We have a downstroke, an upstroke, and two taps. Now look at me. I'm in position to attack the up-and-coming paradiddle. Up, tap, tap. The movement is down, up, tap, tap, down, up, tap, tap. Okay? Now, when you're actually playing faster, let's say you had a camera. Hold on a second. Let me just check something out. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry about that. When I play faster, it's not really fast. It's just I'm not here to show off. It's an instructional platform. A little faster. So, if you took a video of that fast or that speed, you're shooting a video and you play it back. Let's just say hypothetically, you had on your computer, you could slow that way, way down. So what you would see, okay, is this. That's what's occurring. That's the motion inside of a single alternating paradiddle. Okay, now, why is there nobody here? Huh, unbelievable. Okay, it's all right. Anyway, that was just, I wanted to explain why. That's the level system. We're going to get into a lesson of that with Jeffrey Johnson's book, The Level System. Hopefully I'm going to have Jeffrey come here and do a live broadcast on YouTube, not on Facebook. Seems that Facebook is not working correctly, but that's okay. I'm here now, the video's up, and I'm going to stay here. Anyway, we all play like that. For example, another example of how natural that is. If you say you're a teacher, and you have a student maybe 12, 14 years old, and you tell the student to play this. He does a good job. He plays it pretty nice. And he plays the right side and the left side equally. Then you say, okay, play one stroke louder, like this. He naturally will play that. He'll naturally come up, come down. What I'm trying to say to you is if you practice something the way you play it, you're only reinforcing you're going to become better. Which takes us to the next exercise. Okay, hold on one more minute. Alright, so now, what's this? Alright, that's okay. So anyway, that takes us to our next lesson, utilizing the stick control book. If I said to play 16th notes, alternating the strokes, and your downbeat's the 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to have 1 E and no accent, 3 E and 4 E and 3 E and 4 E and no problem. So if I say, let's use that, okay, that pattern, alternating strokes, and let's go to the stick control book, page 5, line 1, and let's reference off the page. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to eliminate, again, the lefts and just play the rights. But we're going to reference off the page, as all the rights are going to tell me I want an accent on top of what I'm playing. So if I did that approach, my accent would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have this. Now if I break the motion down, it's down, tap, up. Down, tap, up, tap. Down, tap, up, tap. That's what's occurring when you're playing it. Okay, now we go to the second one. The second guy, which you have, is now, we're referencing off the page 5, the R is on the and. So now we're going to play this on the bottom. Now we're going to accent just the and. So let's play line 2 a little up-tempo. The bass drum there was 1, 2, 3, 4. The hi-hat was 2 and 4. But I blended it in and I made it sound musical. I did not have any particular voice be overwhelming except for the accent. So once you get line 1 and line 2 flowing, what you can do is move it around. Okay, when I say move it around, let's play line 1 and line 2. Now, not just on one surface, but take all the right-hand accents and put them over here. So I'm going to play one measure straight 16ths, then I'm going to do line 1 and line 2. All the rights are going to be on the floor tom-tom, the accents. Example. Now I just moved it around. I put the right hand accents just on one drum. How you doing, Bob? But I can move the right hand onto the other drums. For example, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and back. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on and so forth. So let's just be a little creative. And we're going to stay with line 1 and line 2, okay? They're going to be, some of them are going to be on one surface. I just use line 1 and line 2. You can have a whole lot of fun. Now, yes, I'm right-sided on that one. And Friday's lesson, we're going to show you the left side. Okay? So, oh boy. Let's go to line 3, which is right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. So what we have here now is the accent's going to be on one and 3 and. I'll demonstrate that on one surface. Notice the hands. The levels are there. It's just natural. Yeah, I broke it down to see what was occurring and did it slow so I could reinforce the motion. And that's what I'm going to do right now. The first stroke's going to be a free stroke. The next stroke's a tap. The next stroke is a down stroke. Tap. When I go to 2 E-enda, it's 2 is a tap, E is a tap, and is an upstroke. Da is a tap. Why? Because now I'm in position to nail it again. Okay, now, what we're doing is we're going to go to line 4. The accent shifts over to 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're playing this on the bottom. that's just an example. All right, line 5. Now, it's not complicated, but the accent is going to be a little bit more flavorful because you're hitting on the 1 and the 2 and the 3. That's where the accent's going to fall. Let me demonstrate that slow. 1 E, and 2 E, and 3 E, and 4 E, and I'm ready to attack again. Now, you know, I'm doing live lessons on my site and on YouTube and now here. And the viewers, can you write that out? Yeah, I could write it out, but that's kind of defeating the purpose. You have to put this in your mind. What's a downstroke, what's a tap, what's an upstroke, or a free stroke, or whatever. You have to put that in your mind. And there are some different exercises I have to really, really get that going on. It's a journey, your journey, not mine. I paid my dues and I'm still paying them over and over and over again, revisiting some of the things that I've learned to make them stronger. And this is what you need to do. Okay, so now what I said, we contained ourselves to, initially, to the snare drum, one surface. Then we used the bass drum and hi-hat. Then I moved over the accents to just the one floor tom-tom. But you could play all the accents wherever you would like, as long as you're maintaining the figure. You could play it on the first wing tom-tom, the second wing tom-tom, the first floor tom-tom, or the second floor tom-tom. Have some fun. Before you go to the fun, get it going on smooth, relaxed, no tension. Move it. Okay? So let's have a little fun. And I'm not going to say this is line 1, line 2, line 3. I have 72 lines to do. Okay? So I'm just going to play randomly what I want with the accents. Just have a little fun. I'm a little bit exhausted right now. I apologize. And there's a bit of a delay, like I said. So this is being recorded on the system that I have for my live lessons, but it's also being recorded on an additional camera. When I play this back, if the delay is too much, all right, I'm going to upload the other camera that I'm filming this on, which you'll have no delay. And I'm going to upload it to YouTube and put it on Facebook. I would expect a whole lot of questions. Now, Bob, you've done stuff like this with me because you're a member of my site, okay? And you come to YouTube mostly every time. This is new, Monday and Friday, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. And I'm doing this to promote my book. Stick control book, stick control formulas. There's 45 different formulas of how to interpret the brilliant George Lawrence Stone's page 5, 6, and 7. Okay? And they're all written out. 188 pages. That's a lot of pages. But now I'm not going to sell the hardcover no more. I'm going to sell the PDFs. And also, that's 188 pages as well. They can be mailed directly to your mailbox. So what I'm doing, I'm running a little special. If you become a paid-for member of my site, I will send you in your inbox, or your email rather, the PDFs. There's 188 pages. That's really 184, 108, something like that. But anyway, and the way I wrote the book is being revised right now. The way I wrote the book was for the live members, right? And was for me to go over formula number 4, formula number 5, and explain it, instead of me doing all the documentation inside of the book. So if you want to become a member, that's Matt Patella, www.mattpatellallivelessons.com, and you become a member, you will get the PDFs. Now, that's two different ways I think I did the stick control book. Let's go over that again. We did eighth notes with the left hand. Bass drum 1, 2, 3, 4. Left hand 2 and 4. So I got constantly going on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now I'm going to reference off the stick control book. All my rights are going to be playing on the floor tom-tom. I'm eliminating the lefts. So I have this 1. That's line 1. Now line 2, the rights fall on the hands. Line 3. Line 4. Line 5. I just contained it to the one floor tom-tom. But man, you can have fun with this, and once you get it flowing, no tension, remember. Once you get it flowing, then you can move it around. Got it? Okay. That was the first way. Now the second way, I just did playing straight ahead 16th notes on the snare drum, alternating the strokes, referencing from page 5, all the R's become an accent. You're eliminating the lefts. So, I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to do one more. Or maybe two. I don't know. If I get some more viewers. Unbelievable. I really wish when I first started that I had this kind of access rather. Go on Facebook, there's a live lesson from the teacher. I could ask questions. I really wish I had that, but I didn't. It was like, I guess you could say I'm not old school, but maybe primitive. But man, this is really nice for everybody. It helps them out. This is not a competitive thing. You know, you might not like some of the things that I'm doing, and they say, it's not, you know, funky or it's not jazzy. Trust me, as you get involved with that stick control formulas, you will see how funky things get. And you will see how they work with jazz and soloing and concept. I'm just basically hitting the surface. Let me ask you a question, Bob. Do you understand so far what we're doing? I'm sure you do, because Bob is a frequent member and he comes to mostly every lesson that I do. The next one, I'm going to do a polyrhythm, and we're going to use 3 against 4. Now, does everybody that is listening understand what 3 against 4 is? It's a polyrhythm. I'm playing triplets with one hand, and I'm playing a grouping of 4, the 16ths with the other hand. So what I have, this is 3 hands, 1, 2, 3, and I'm playing 4. 2, E, and. Now I put them together, and I have. So you hear the 3 with the left hand, and you hear the 4 with the right. Would you like me to break that down somewhat? How I come up with that? How I'm thinking? Yes? No? What's that? You want that, Bob? Bill Rather. That's okay, Bob. We'll go over it. You want 16ths against the 8th note triplets. Well, to play that up tempo is really very difficult. So what I do with that is I utilize a stick control book again. Like I said, Mr. Bill and Robert, I utilize a stick control book. My primary source of teaching all comes from the stick control book. Now, if you gentlemen start really getting into the stick control book, not surfacely, like anybody can play the first 3 pages with the sticky. The thing is to do it right. And there is a right way and there is a wrong way. You're trying to make the right side and the left side sound equal. The more you get into it, the more you're going to start to discover about yourself and your hands. And if you, get the formulas, you will see things happen for you that you never thought you believed that were in the stick control book. Like I said before, I get guys commenting to me, I did the stick control book 30 years ago. I got to take it out of storage and brush off the dust and go back to it. You don't never finish the stick control book. The stick control book is an endless journey. It helps you achieve perfect technique. And there is perfect technique. There is a right way and a wrong way to do technique. Playing is a different issue. When you play, you utilize your technique to play the music. And the music dictates to you what the groove is and how you have a conversation with the other musicians. But let's get back to what Bill wants. The 16th notes against the 8th note triplet. I could do the 5 against 4, 5 against 3, but we're going to do 3 against 4. Now, what I do when I play, when I come to trying that polyrhythm 3 against 4, actually, it's commonplace to say, all right, I'm going to play 4 quarter notes on the bottom, and with the other hand, I'm going to play half note triplets. Okay, that's 4 against 3. Okay, and that's only one variation. This is a different variation. What I do, again, when I count triplets, I count triplets as my standard, the way I count them, and most people do count them 1 and 2 and 4. And other people count them 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, which is not incorrect. Okay, so I don't really particularly care for that method because it kind of like, I don't like it. That's all. It's not incorrect. I have some guys count triplets. 1 ta ta, 2 ta ta. Where that comes from, I have no idea. But if it works for that person, great. It's not going to work for me. So when I'm doing a polyrhythm, I change the count of the triplet. Instead of 1 and I count it 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Hear the bass drum? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. So now I open up that count. I have 2 ways to open it up. I could put ands in between the count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 and 3, and that gets me for 2 against 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. And now we go to 3 against 4. I'm going to have to open up the triplet a little bit more, and it's not really going to sound like 3 against 4 when you first start it. But as you do it, you're going to start to eliminate, you're going to think of the count, but you're going to eliminate saying the count. You're going to more or less feel it. So let me demonstrate how I come to this next exercise. I'm playing my left hand, 1E and the 2E and the 3. So now I made it the feeling. It's not 3, 4. I'm just counting it that way. 1E and the 2E and the 3E and 1E and the 2E and the 3. Then, that's the 3 part. And the bass drum is on 1. Okay, or no, let me play the hi-hat on 1. 1E and the 2, 3. 1E and the 2E and the 3 and Now, how do I get the 4 in there? Well, there's the mathematical system. 3 times 4 equals 12. So when I count 1e, 2e, 3e, that's 12 counts. So I'm hitting every 4. 1e, 2e, 3e, 1e, 2e, 3e. Then, to get the 4, I use the same mathematical thing. 3 times 4 is 12. But this time, when I'm counting 1e, 2e, 3e, I'm hitting every third count. 1e, 2e, 3e, 1e, 2e, 3e. Hey Bill, did you buy the stick control book formulas from me? I'm not sure if you did or not. But anyway, that's how I get the 4. So if I play, I'm going to play this on the 1, or hi-hat on the 1, I'm going to play the 3 with the snare and 4 with the bass drum. I mean, right hand. That's 3 against 4. Now first you need to understand that and learn that. So, where do we go from here? All right. Well, you should buy it, Bill. At least the PDFs. Email me, we'll talk about it. Okay? So, let's do this now. Let's take the stick control book. Okay, and let's go to a formula. R is going to equal 4 rights. L is going to equal 4 lefts. So if I took the first sequence, right, left, I'd have this. 1, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and. Now I'm going to play that exercise, referencing from the stick control book. However, on the bottom, I'm going to play 3 with the bass drum. 4 rights, 4 lefts, 3 with the bass drum. We get that? If I go to line 3, that's 2 rights, 2 lefts. I have 1, left. Okay? So we have do we understand that, guys? Bill? Robert? You understand what I'm doing? And without a doubt, stick control is the Bible, without a doubt. Hey Bill, I'm running a special. If you purchase a paid-for membership on MattPatellaLiveLessons.com, you will get the PDFs for this book, Stick Control Formulas. You can't lose. Okay, so now, that's an easier exercise. So what I'm doing there is I'm practicing. You weren't paying attention, Bill. I'm playing 3 against 4. I'm playing 4 with, first off, I'm taking the stick control book. The first line of page 5 is right, left, right. Let's stay there. Every right I come across is going to equal 4/16. 1, E, and the left, 2, E, and then I come to 3 is a right, 3, E, and then to the left, 4, E, and so line 1 is the same, right, left, and that's 4/16. So from 4/16, I'm playing triplets with the bass drum. Without the 3. That's 3 against 4. 4 for the downbeat and 3 with the downbeat on the first note. That's 3 with the bass drum, 4 with the snare drum. If I go to line 3, it's 2 rights, 2 lefts. Without the 3, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I play that as the hand exercise, and I use the bass drum as a polyrhythm. You get it, Bill? Bob, you got it, right? Now, you know, I've been doing a stick control book. The first time I came across the stick control book, I didn't like it. I thought, what do you mean it don't sound like triplets? There's 3 against 4 in there, Bill. When you do it slow, it's not going to sound too much close to 3 against 4. But as you get the exercise, you want me to accent the downbeat of the 3? Count the bass drum on each downbeat. 1, 2, 3. Try to play a little faster. Does it help out? The 3 doesn't sound like triplets. It sure does. It is triplets. Listen carefully. I'm going to do it slow. That was the first one. 4 rights and a triplet. I'm thinking of the triplet, not 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and or 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. I'm thinking of the triplet as 1, 2, 3. But I'm opening up the space in between the counts. I can count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and that's a triplet. That sounds like a triplet. How about if I play the triplet on top and play the 4 on the bottom? I'm going to put an accent on the first note of the triplet. I'm playing 4 on the top, I'm sorry. You hear the triplet in there, Bob? It don't sound, Bill rather, it don't sound like 3 against 2. What does it sound like? It's 3 against 4. You gotta be kidding me. All right, no. Are you serious? Does it sound closer to the triplet now, Bill? It takes a long, you know, I'm doing it slow. When you do something like this slow, it don't kick in sound-wise unless you play it at a certain tempo. Then you'll hear the 3 and against the 4. What you're doing is the preliminary, understanding the math. I'm breaking it down for you. Now, like I was saying before, you know, when I first got the stick control book, man, I said, what kind of book is this? It's so boring. Right, left, right, left, right, 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 left, right, 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 left. I said, what is this going to do? Not until I went to Joe Morello did I realize the brilliance of George Lawrence Stone. And when I went to see him, and most of the time it was on a weekly basis, but because I was playing 6, 7 nights a week, and sometimes I'd have to go on the road for 2 or 3 months, so there was a lag there. And I did this over a course of about 30 years. All right? And every time I would go see Joe, we were playful. Joe was a hell of a nice guy. Very warm, very comforting. And he was a mentor, he was a friend. He was very encouraging. So it wasn't a contest, but it was something to do. When I went to see him, we had, okay, Patella, let me see what could you come up with the stick control book. How can you do the stick control book? So every week I come in 1 or 2 times. He come in 2 or 3 times. So I accumulated all that. You know, yesterday we had a live show on YouTube. Steve Forrester, and he wrote that book, Algorithms, based upon Ravel's Bolero. And all that was him documenting the different ways to do the stick control book the way Joe explained it to him. All right? We did that yesterday. Now, Joe was masterful. I've seen in my years of playing and being in the drum community, I've seen all kinds of drummers and explaining different kinds of technique and whatever. You know, when it comes to technique, there's only one way, and that's the right way. It's the laws of physics. If you fight the laws of physics, you're going to lose. That's what I'm demonstrating. Yeah, I'm splitting my brain with the 3 against 4, and I want to do one more. Okay? And like I was saying, when I did the stick control book, I looked at it and I said, man, that was boring as hell. But then I realized it's not. And I use this as a daily diet. I normally, depending on my day, if I'm not streaming a whole lot or teaching a whole lot or writing, I try to get 2 to 3 hours every day of practicing. When I'm down with no lessons or streaming, I get as much as I can, sometimes 4 hours. But after a long period of time, you know, doing the stick control book in full strokes becomes not boring, but monotonous. It's never boring because it's always going to help you, without a doubt. But you know, it's when I say monotonous, it means, you know, you're doing it over and over repetitively. And that's what practicing is, to repeat something over and over again. So, I figured, let me challenge the full stroke. For example, the way I was taught originally to do the full stroke with stick control book, and I'm going to do the first 2 lines with the vamp. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And repeat, and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 3 and 4. So on and so forth. Bill, you still don't think it sounds like triplets? Okay, here you go. I'm going to interpret the stick control book instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm going to consolidate that line into 16ths like this. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Okay? That's doing a group of 4 per downbeat. All right, now I'm going to play 8th note triplets to every 4 strokes. You tell me if you don't hear the triplet. Okay? Better yet, let me put the hi-hat on the downbeat. Ah! You hear it now, Bill? Every downbeat is the hi-hat. triplet now, Bill? I need some response here, Bill. Do you hear the triplet? You made a statement that 3 doesn't sound like a triplet. What does the 3 sound like? All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 3 against 1. I don't have my metronome set. I mean, I could play 60. That's fast when you learn this. Here's what I'm going to do. I don't know what tempo this is on the metronome, but I'm going to play the triplets on the snare. You hear the triplets on the snare? Mr. Bill, do you hear it? Please say something. I'm about to close it up anyway. Alright, my next live lesson on Facebook will be Friday, 1 p.m. My next live lesson is tomorrow on YouTube. Bob could hear it, Bill, now you could hear it. Okay. Alright. Thank you. Alright, tomorrow, my next Facebook lesson, live Facebook lesson, is Friday, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I stream live on YouTube at 1 p.m. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7 p.m., okay, I stream on my site. Now, if anybody is interested in purchasing the stick control book, Formulas, contact me. Robert, can you put my email in there? Matt Patella 1001 at gmail.com. I would appreciate it. Now, like I said before, I'm running a special. Become a paid-for member of my site. That's mattpatellalivelessons.com. And you will receive the PDFs for the stick control formulas, and also, if you do 2 months, then you will receive the workbook as well. Okay, guys, any questions? You're welcome, Bob. Okay. See whoever tomorrow. What happened here?